So I'm going to talk about something. I don't even know what category to throw it under. I guess it's kind of falls under like marketing or business or something like that, but not as directly as you might think. So I recognize that my problem is that I'm actually a very bad coach, but not for the reason that most people would assume makes someone a bad coach or a good coach for that matter even. Um, the problem is that I tend to give people what they need instead of what they want. And, I remember talking to this surgeon once, and he said to me that it was more important that we give the patient the surgery that they want than it is that we give the patient the surgery that they need. And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And he went on to explain to me that you could have a person who's 70 and they have this, torn labrum or something. They just want to be out of pain. They're not there to have a full shoulder reconstruction and, I don't know, go back to bench pressing, 405 for reps. They're not a professional athlete. They're not going to go back to, pitching in the MLB and trying to throw 90 miles an hour. So for that patient, the surgery that they want, right? The surgery that they want is just give me the surgery that gets the pain to stop. Now, you as a surgeon, you're looking at this and going, I can completely fix this to the point where this person has full usage of their arm and their shoulder. Um, that's the surgery they need. I can do a full reconstruction and get them back to 100%, and they'll be great. But that patient might not actually want that extensive a surgery because, you could be looking at a 6-month recovery. So it's faster and easier for this patient because the surgery they want is the one that gets them out of pain. And so we just go in and we do whatever debridement needs to be done, and now they no longer have pain, and of course their recovery time is 4 to 8 weeks instead of 6 months. That's giving the patient the surgery they want instead of the surgery that they, like, air quotes, need. Um, because you as a surgeon, you're looking at this and saying, I can fix this. But they don't really want it fixed. They just want the pain to be removed. Meanwhile, when you get your professional baseball player in, he needs to be able to throw. And of course, that's also the surgery that he wants. So, how does this apply to coaching? When I coach people, I look at what they're currently doing. I look at their goals, like what do you want to accomplish? And then I say, okay, this is what you need. And I tend to just tell people to do exactly what they need to be doing, which isn't very sexy. Most of the time, I've been very vocal about this. Maybe I'll do a whole seminar or something like that explaining to people how I program. Okay? I can give you some really complicated, complex, periodized program of Franz Bosch and, all these high level things. We're going to do this type of periodization model and, vertical integration, and you're going to have all these different movements. But the reality is that, like, the majority of people, um, like, it's just power building. Like, that's like legitimately what the majority of people need. The majority of people come to you and they're just too weak. Like, the very first thing you have to do is just make them stronger. And it doesn't have to be super sexy. Like, you could literally just take people and have them squat, add weight to the bar, squat it some more, deadlift, add weight to the bar, deadlift it some more. And that's what most people actually need. Don't get me wrong, when a guy rolls in and he's already, squatting over double body weight, right? As we know, the research from Dr. Hoff, like, it's diminishing returns at that point. Okay, well, now we can start working on things like plyometrics, and we can start incorporating other elements into your training. But for a lot of people, like, they come in and they're barely able to squat their own body weight. So it's like, all right, well, let's start with the basics, because the basics are always the basics, and let's just get you stronger. It's power building. I'm not even picky. I don't care. You want to do a back squat or a safety bar squat or a front squat, whatever. Or just choose a squatting movement that you like. I don't care if you conventional deadlift, sumo deadlift, or trap bar deadlift. We'll just get you deadlifting until you get stronger. And I don't care if you bench press or incline press or overhead press, whatever. Let's just get you doing that, and let's get some type of pulling movement. Again, I don't even care if you're doing weighted pull-ups or you're doing rows. The point is, we're getting you pushing and pulling and squatting and hinging, and we're just going to add weight to the bar and get stronger. We can worry about all the other stuff later. But most people have such a huge deficit of strength that that's what they need. People don't want that, though. People want to be entertained. That's why people love CrossFit. And I'm not bashing CrossFit, because actually I think CrossFit's great. People go to CrossFit and it's a different workout every day. Well, that's motivating. Like, it keeps people fit. Don't knock people for being active and exercising. If that's your cup of tea, go for it. I don't like long distance running. I hate it. But like, if you enjoy hopping on the bike and going for a ride, or you enjoy going for a long run, like, good. Like, you're being active. Like, that's awesome. So like, I'm not going to knock the endurance guys either. But when people have a specific goal, then you need a specific plan. There's something that you need. You need to do this in order to accomplish that. And I tend to be the person who gives people exactly what they need instead of what they want. I also tell people what they need to hear instead of telling what they want to hear. And that doesn't go over very well sometimes. I'm sure you guys can all appreciate that. I don't even care if we're talking about strength anymore. Sometimes telling people what they need to hear doesn't go over very well. So my point being that actually I recognize my flaws. I recognize that one of the problems I have is that I tend to give people what they need even when they don't want it. And even if I know what people want, I still give them what they need, because there's this weird part of me that feels like I would be doing them a disservice to just give them what they want. And maybe I need to let go of that. I'm going to be critical of myself. I'm going to criticize myself and say, maybe I need to let go of that. Maybe I need to be more willing to meet people where they are and give them what they want instead of giving people what they need. But that's definitely what I do. People ask me very high-level questions too. How many grams of this amino acid do I need a day? And it's like, dude, you don't eat enough protein in the first place. So like, let's start there. Well, how do I dial in my electrolytes? And it's like, well, let's start with like salt. Are you getting enough salt in your diet? And are you drinking enough water? And then we can worry about all these other things. But if we can't hammer the basics, then like, it's majoring in the minors, right? These minor things matter, but they only matter once you have the big rocks in place. So yeah, I tend to give people what they need instead of giving people what they want. And there's a part of me that recognizes that actually makes me a bad coach, at least in terms of marketing. I'm not very successful. Like, I don't have a big marketing or following or whatever you want to call it, where people just, I don't know. This isn't, what's that guy? He always does the stupid commercial where he's going to eat pizza or salad. V-Shred? Is that a thing? Mike Chan, six-pack abs? Yeah, I don't do those things. I tell people to eat the salad. So anyways, there you guys have it. Yeah. And maybe this hopes, I hope that this helps some other coach out there, recognizing that there's a difference between giving people what they need versus giving people what they want. And I think that for you as a person, you have to decide which one you want to be. For me, I can sit here and criticize myself and recognize that this is a problem. At the same time, I'm really not willing to change, so I'll probably just continue giving people exactly what they need instead of giving people what they want.